it's Reagan and welcome back to another video. Today I decided it might be fun to do a bit of catching up, you and I, and do a Q&A. I asked on my Instagram for you guys to submit a bunch of questions and I figured I would just go through them now. And also, quick shameless plug, if you're not following me on Instagram, check it out, here's my feed. So I kind of have already combed through and I plan to kind of chat through the most popular, but I am also going to randomly pick some questions as well as we go through. All right, so the first question I'm going to answer is probably one of the more popular one, and that is, are you participating in the Reading Rush Read-A-Thon and what is your TBR? If you're not familiar, the Reading Rush is a read-a-thon put on every year by Ariel over at Ariel Bassett. She is doing a special edition one that's happening this upcoming weekend, the 16th through the 19th, which is a Thursday through a Sunday. Just kind of a way to kind of bring the community together, celebrate reading as we're all kind of staying inside. The answer to that question is yes, I am participating and I do plan on vlogging, and I figured let's just go through the TBR now. I'm planning on doing a focused TBR video, so this actually works out pretty perfectly. So let's just chat through the books really fast. There are specific challenges that you can try to achieve or unlock as part of the read-a-thon. This time around, I'm really just gonna focus on the reading portion, just reading as much as possible and focusing on the books that are kind of calling my name. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a bit of a reading slump. I started this month out so strong and then I've kind of veered away from historical romance and now I'm not reading anything at all. But to quickly chat through my TBR, I have a mix of books that I'm really excited about. The first one is The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. This is the same author as Station 11, which is a book I read right when it came out multiple years ago now, like 3 or 4 years ago when that came out, which, by the way, that book is eerily representative of what is going on right now. But this is her new release and it's essentially another multi-perspective, multi-story thread kind of thing, but all centered in and around a hotel in an isolated part of Vancouver. It sounds really eerie, but I also love Emily St. John Mandel's writing and I feel like it's gonna be super captivating. It's also not very long and her chapters tend to be short. So I feel like this is a really great book for a read-a-thon and one that I'll just flip through the pages super fast. At least that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I love Station 11. I've been anticipating this book really highly, so I figured, why not? Let's read it for this read-a-thon. Another book on my list is Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout because I have been so slumpy and the only thing that has really captivated me is romance. I figured let's jump back into the urban fantasy romance. This is on my TBR for the month as well, so also a good one to read. But this is book 2 to the Dark Elements trilogy by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a story that follows our main character who lives in a world where demons exist and they're constantly preying upon humans, and there is a group of individuals sworn to protect humans from these demons. These people are called gargoyles because they literally can turn into a gargoyle, like a stone person, charge into battle. Our main character is half demon, half gargoyle, so she's kind of torn between two worlds, starts dating a hot demon. Book 2 has, kind of sprouts from there. I'm really interested. I just feel like this would be the perfect, fast-paced, highly entertaining, really easy read that I would just fly through during a read-a-thon, and also just personally what I really am craving to read right now. The last book on my list is The Dangerous Alliance. This is definitely feeding into my Regency romance love right now. I love Regency romance. I cannot stop reading it, and this is an ostentatious romance, which particularly appeals to me because I love Jane Austen novels. But this basically follows a main character who reads Jane Austen books present to when those books were being published, and she basically uses them to create a strategy to save herself from a difficult situation because she actually needs to get married to get out of a difficult family life scenario, because women obviously were very vulnerable during this time period. It sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like something I would love, especially right now. So this is high priority for me, and it's been high priority for a while. I'm shocked I have not read it yet, so I figured, again, perfect book for a read-a-thon. So those are all the books I plan to read for the Reading Rush. I'll have the Instagram page linked down below if you're interested in learning more, but yeah, it should be really fun. Again, it's this upcoming weekend. Perfect time to participate. I will be vlogging and I'm sure talking about it on Instagram as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to read all the books, basically. Someone asked, what is Matilda doing right now as you speak, as you're filming? Here's Matilda. This is her favorite spot in the house. She's just sleeping. She's just sunbathing. She loves it so much. I get a lot of questions about what I do for a full-time job. I think because I have been vlogging more during my work week now that Clay and I are both working from home, but I am actually not a full-time YouTuber. I do work a 9 to 5 as well. I work in digital marketing on like an analytics type position, so a lot of Excel all day. Just thought I would quickly touch on that. I talk about it a lot more in some other QA videos in the past if you dig through my channel, but to confirm, I do have another job as well. That keeps me busy. It goes with my degree that I got in school. I would say probably my favorite part of it outside of like the work, I really appreciate a lot of the human interface I have with my coworkers. It's something I definitely miss. But it's definitely a lot of fun to work in my industry. It's a lot of young people as well, kind of problem solving together. So it can be a great way to kind of community in the work environment. Someone asked if I had any siblings. The answer is yes. I have an older sister and an older brother. I actually recently, my brother recently got married, which Clay and I went to. Here's a picture. It was so much fun, so romantic, and like just snuck in there before like basically all travel had to stop, which was great because it's an international wedding. So I'm really happy they were able to have their wedding and I was able to see my whole family and Saloni's family. It was such a great time. Great wedding. Next question is a lot of questions about how long I plan to stay in New York and if I'll eventually move back to Texas. The answer is yes, Clay and I do have long-term plans to move back to Texas. We'll probably stay in New York. It's hard to say though, but we do really, really love New York. We love our neighborhood. We currently live in Brooklyn, but we're probably hopefully gonna be moving and trying out a new neighborhood soon in the next like 4 to 5 months. Depending on, you know, the reality of the situation we're living in, we might be staying here for another year, but regardless, we're excited to either stay here or try out a new place. Someone asked, how is work from home going? For me, it's definitely like a give and take. Obviously, Clay and I don't live in the biggest of space. We have one desk, which Clay uses because he needs a double monitor more than me, so I have been working on the coffee table. Yeah, I basically am working from the couch every day. I did get this little table that has leg stands, which allows me to put my laptop in a mouse and also basically allows me to put it on the counter to use it as a standing desk, which has been so clutch and such a lifesaver. And you can also use it as like a tray. So like when this is all over, if I'm not working from home, I can use it as like a book tray or an eating tray or all sorts of things. It's a very handy little thing and has been a real productivity saver for sure. It allows me to definitely have like better posture and everything like that, which I really appreciate. I would highly recommend looking into that if you're also in a small living space situation. I don't have a dining room table, which I feel like a lot of people are working off of because I decided to put my books here instead, which I have no regrets about, but that's why we don't have a dining room table. A lot of questions also about productivity, how to read more, how to do things that you want. For me, really the only thing I can say about this is making a schedule and scheduling things into your day. And just following through with that. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the most productive person in the entire world. That is not true, but I personally have been able to overcome a lot of my like wasted time by making a list of things I want to accomplish or a calendar of things I want to accomplish and doing that. Even if it's like watch a TV show or read this book or do XYZ project or finish this deliverable by Wednesday for like a client if I'm at work. It helps so much to like schedule your time out a week ahead and kind of placing things to keep your life organized. There's always time that can be used to be made more productive. You know, the hours I spend on the couch watching TikTok videos or scrolling through Instagram. I really have tried to cut that down, especially at night or like when I'm in bed, maybe an hour before bed. I try to put my phone on the other side of the room, use that time however I see fit. If it's to watch the show I want to watch or read or play Animal Crossing or whatever, I really try to get my phone out of my hands because that is such a time suck. So I would say like my number one tip for being productive and fitting more things in that you're interested in is literally scheduling it into your day. From 1 to 2, I want to practice knitting. From 3 to 4, I want to learn how to bake bread. Like all sorts of things like that for me is how I found productivity success. Someone asked me what my favorite flowers are. This is so hard because fresh flowers are like one of my favorite delights. I always buy myself flowers. I feel like it really brightens up an apartment and they just make me really happy. I love sunflowers, I love tulips, I love peonies, I love hydrangeas. Honestly, I love all flowers. There's very few flowers I dislike, but I really love bright and colorful flowers and like wildflowers, daisies, pretty much anything just to kind of brighten up and bring a bit of happiness into the space. Ironically, I would say my least favorite flowers are roses. I don't know, I think they're like too formal for me. I want a more fun flower in my life. Someone asked if I can draw, paint, or sing. Can confirm I can do None of those things. I have no natural artistic ability. Like, I'm creative in my own ways, but creative as a form of expression and like dance, singing, or like drawing or painting, cannot do. I am mesmerized by everyone's ability. I have a lot of coworkers that have the most beautiful and intense bullet journals. It's just not something I can do. My handwriting literally looks like a child did it. Like, I have the handwriting of a 5-year-old boy. So as much as I wish I could tell you that I, you know, paint or make beautiful pieces of art in my free time, I'm just not talented in that way. Someone who is, Sasha, a fantastic painter. I love watching her Instagram stories. I'm always like, dang, Sasha, can you just paint my whole house for me? Because it looks so nice. Someone asked me, what anime am I watching right now? Well, so I love to make a list, and I have made an anime watch list for myself to watch during the week. There are currently 3 animes I'm currently watching. The first one is Fruits Baskets. I'm watching this with Monica and Elena. We basically like stream episodes and chat during it. It's so adorable. I love it so much. Fruits Baskets was one of the first animes I ever watched. I watched the original series and I read the entirety of the manga when I was in middle school, I want to say. So this readaptation of the show is just giving me life. It's making me so happy, and I also think it's so well done. The acting, the colors, it just brings such a smile to my face. I love it so much. I also am catching up on My Hero Academia. I'm almost done with season 3. I'm watching it in dub, which past me would have like shunned me so much for this because I refuse. I never watched dubbed anime. I never did. And I've seen so many animes. I prefer sub. I agree the acting is better. The tone of voice is better. It fits better. But I like to watch dub right now because I like to play Animal Crossing while I am watching anime, and I just can't double task if I have to read subtitles. So I'm trying to watch things in dub right now. Though I'm almost caught up. I think I have 2 episodes left of My Hero Academia season 3. It's such a charming show as well. It has great action and friendship. I love the school setting. I think that is always one of my favorite tropes. Like, training arcs and school arcs are some of my favorite. And I think when I finish that, the next show I'll watch is My Witch Academy or something like that. It looks super cute and it's on Netflix, so that is definitely there. And then last anime is I have tricked Clay into watching Naruto with me. So Naruto is one of my first animes I also ever watched, and I loved it. And I watched it in middle school and through high school, in a chunk of college as well, as Shippuden was airing. And then I just kind of fell behind in Shippuden during one of the filler arcs and never picked it back up, which breaks my heart. So I figured, hey, let's start a rewatch. I haven't seen the original episodes of Naruto in probably 12 years. So let's watch that and then watch Shippuden together. It's bringing back so many memories, and I have such a deep love for this show. Shikamaru was like one of my first crushes, Kakashi Sensei. It's just like so much. It's bringing me such joy, and forcing Clay to watch it with me, and hopefully he'll fall in love with it too, also brings me joy. It's just great. It's such a charming show. Believe it. Someone asked, what is the thing I'm most excited about to do once this whole not leaving your house thing is over? Honestly, probably seeing my family. My mom lives upstate, but obviously I'm not visiting her right now given everything that's going on. So I'm really excited to connect with my family again and see my friends again. I'll probably go back to Texas as soon as I'm able to and it's safe to see all of my friends. I just like miss connecting with the ones I love, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them again, and it's something I took for granted and I hopefully never will moving forward. I also cannot wait to travel again, just go somewhere, go on a road trip, anything. I'm just excited to just go and see things. I'm definitely a person who was definitely an introvert, and that I love when plans get canceled, but for a while I think I'm going to be very the opposite of that and really embrace plans and leave. Someone asked if I've always been really interested in clothes and books and all of that, and I would say yes, but my tastes have definitely changed over the year. I went through a very long emo phase, like middle school through high school through early college. It lasted a long time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love my emo phase, and I still listen to all that music, and Clay did too, and we love to jam out to MCR and Emery and Amberlin and all of that. But I would say my style has changed a lot, from like plaid, blue eyeliner, flannel, Doc Martens, to much more like girly. I went from wanting to be like Hot Topic to Miss Frizzle as my style icon. So like big pivot, but I'm here for both versions of myself. You know what I mean? You might be able to notice it a little bit in my early videos, which most of them were filmed my freshman year of college, which I was kind of coming out of my more emo phase, but I definitely still had it freshman year. So I would say just my style has changed, but I've always loved clothes and makeup. I wanted to be Graveyard Girl for like my entire high school career. I wanted to dress just like her. I have bought so many like jewelry and clothes to try to replicate that look, and I failed to ever be as cool as Graveyard Girl, basically is what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna ask a book series to check out if you're new to fantasy. I actually have a whole video on this, Beginner's Guide to Fantasy, but I would say the Air series by Cinna Williams-Chima is a great one to check out, and also A Darker Shade of Magic is a really great one too by V.E. Schwab. It's kind of bridges YA and adult in my opinion, and I think that's a great series. And lastly, I would say An Ember in the Ashes. It's mostly a dual perspective story with fantastical elements, but it's definitely very character driven, so you're very quickly captured by the story and narrative style. So those are 3 really good ones, but again, I have a whole video linked down below. Okay, last question, I'm gonna do a random one. Someone asked, what do you do when you're in a reading slump? Helpful, because I'm currently in a reading slump. Honestly, I go back to my productivity tip earlier. I just schedule it in. Sometimes I just make myself read, because once you start reading, you're often like, oh yeah, I do love this. This is great. This is a great book. I'm gonna keep reading this. For me, when I'm in a reading slump, it's mostly I've just lost the desire to pick up a book. But once I've picked up the book, I'm enjoying it and I don't want to put it down. So I kind of have to force myself to read sometimes when I'm in a slump, but then like it quickly goes away, and that's kind of my top tip there. I also feel like just let your mood dictate whatever it is you feel like reading. Look at your book collection, pick the book that's really calling your name. Don't force yourself to go through a book that you're not enjoying. Keep trying things until you kind of get that spark. But I would say like schedule it. Try to keep reading even if you feel like you don't want to, but also like don't force yourself to read. If you really don't want to read, take a break. Like reading is supposed to be fun. So if you're picking up books and you're like, I'm having a terrible time, don't force yourself to read. There's too much going on in this world right now to force yourself to do something that makes you unhappy. The tips are find a book you like, try to read it. If you're still not having a good time, take a break. Maybe you'll maybe you just need a little break from that hobby, try a different hobby, and then you can come back to it and everything is better. Alright guys, that is my Q&A video. Let me know down below your tips for a reading slump, because I would love to know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.